सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. Okay, so last time we had seen th verse, I think, no? Chapter 5, 20th verse. Na praharshyet prapya na udvijecha apriyam, etc. Any questions, clarifications before I go ahead?
I think we had seen 21 also. So.
Okay. Sukham akshayam ashnute. Okay, that also we saw. Okay. Bahya sparsheshu asaktatma. No, one thing I want to highlight. When you say asaktatma, etc., sometimes people overemphasize this thing of being unattached, not dependent, asangaha, asaktaha, etc. Remember, there is a natural state of the Atma. It is not something that you are forcing on the mind. At the mind, it's a level of emotional independence. That means you are not emotionally dependent on things for your happiness. That is the natural result of jnana. When you recognize that every moment of joy is nothing but the manifestation of the ananda that you are. Any experiential ananda. And you can't deny that there is no experiential ananda. On a hot, humid day like this, you are sipping away a cold drink. A simple pleasure like that can make you feel happy. No? There is some joy, there is some ananda coming out of it. So or if you are listening to a great music program, if you love music, okay, or a performance, or spending time with loved ones, in all of them, there is that experiential sukha that cannot be denied. And if you are not denying that, then asaktaha, etc. means you are not dependent on that for your emotional, dependent on that for your ananda. Like people say, I will create happy memories so that when I am alone by myself, those memories will sustain me. You are living in your mind. You are not living in the world there is. Here to recognize that your ananda is different. Therefore, that ananda is aksangaha, not touched by anything. There is a description of the Atma. But we try to make our minds asangaha. You can make your mind not dependent on things. Have a sense of emotional independence. Why? Because physical dependence is there, no? Especially if you are living in a city. You are dependent on so many things. Because the city never produces anything it consumes. Your food comes from the farms outside. Your water comes from the dams built outside. Dams, lakes, etc. that's outside the city. What do you have in the city? Electricity is produced outside and sent here. What do you make in the city? Some money. But that money that you make is dependent on the things outside. So physically you are dependent on a lot of things. Just because you are physically dependent on a lot of things and being emotionally dependent on something, like on a day like this, let us say the fan stopped working. Are you going to feel hot or not going to feel hot? Does gaining knowledge prevents your nerve centers from recognizing heat and cold? That's foolishness. So, that physical recognition, physical dependency will be there. You are dependent on the air you breathe, on the food you eat. You can't be independent of those things, can you? You meaning who? The body. It's bound to happen. So similarly, having a family, this, that, etc., gives you some amount of emotional fulfillment, and that's fine. Nothing wrong in enjoying that. At that time, you don't have to say, "Oh, I should be asangaha. I should be asangaha." People make this mistake. I should be asaktaha. Or if you are a single, I should not have a boyfriend or a girlfriend. If you are single, it's okay. Recognize that whatever ananda you are getting is a manifestation of the ananda that you are. Therefore, to have a sense of objectivity in everything that you do, then exposing to your knowledge, and the knowledge works itself. Then you can enjoy, because the Atma is asaktaha, true, not touched by anything, but it's in and through everything. It's in and through everything. Everything is a manifestation of the Atma. It is like saying the cloth is independent of the kurta. Correct? The cloth is untouched by the kurta. Correct? But are you denying the kurta? Or are you trying to say, I must be independent of the kurta? Is the cloth saying, I must be not touched by the kurta? As far as the cloth is concerned, kurta doesn't exist, only cloth is there. Where is the kurta? So similarly, as far as I, the consciousness is concerned, only I consciousness is there. So this asaktam is a natural thing. Asangatvam, etc., is a natural thing. That is the description of the Atma. At the level of the mind, it's only emotional and dependent. That's it. Though there is where the whole thing comes. Otherwise, this verse, people misinterpret it a lot. The next one also misinterpreted. Okay, what is the next one? The 22nd one. Ye hi samsparshaja bhoga dukkayone evate adintavanta kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha. Ye hi samsarshaja bhoga. Those bhogas, those enjoyments, which are born out of contact with the world. Khao piyo maja karo. To eat and drink and be merry. Old English expression. To eat and drink and be merry. What are they? Okay. Yeah. He says, there is bhoga there, enjoyment there, but dukkha yonaya. If it becomes excessive food and drink will not create what? We all know it. Obesity, insulin resistance, diabetes, heart attacks, cholesterol, kidney failure. Dukkha yonaya evate. A disciplined enjoyment, nobody is against it. Okay? But to recognize that what you call as bhoga, if not paid attention to, can end up as dukkha yonaya. Therefore he says, and if nothing, adintavanta kaunteya, if nothing, they have a beginning and end. Haven't you seen this Mughal paintings? There's a couple on the bed. It's implied that they have spent the night together and been a great enjoyment. Okay, but now the dawn is breaking, and the cock is crowing. To mark the beginning of the day, the male hens do that. At daybreak, they start crowing. So what does this guy do? He's taking his bow and arrow and shooting the hen. As though shooting the hen will prevent the end of the night. It's a classical Mughal painting. You'll see this in many places. Adintavantaha. Raat gaye, baat gaye. What are you talking about? It's over, done with now. Come on. The day awaits. Work awaits. Do what you have to do. Oh, I wish it would last. I wish it would. Nothing is like that. You won't last anyway. A time comes when enough. You just want to go to sleep. You know, as sailors, we experience this. In fact, we are happy it's Adintavanta. That it has got a beginning and end. Why? Sometimes we visit these islands for bunkering. Bunkering means getting on fresh fruits, vegetables, water, oil, this type of stuff. It's called bunkering. So as such a, and some of these islands, there's nothing. The island produces nothing except some fruits and vegetables and things like that. So how do they sustain themselves? On tourism. So it's one long party. It's one long party. Something or the other is happening. Some parade is happening, some carnival is happening, some public performance is happening, some dance is happening. Then the bar is open. Something is other happening. So the youngsters, you go, Arey, come on. India those days where none of these things were available. So you go and you have a great time and this and that. After that what? After 2 days and 2 nights of not sleeping and working and having fun and things like that. बस हो गया अभी सो जाने के अरे come on tonight you are going on I want to sleep enough so somebody asked me have you visited all these islands I said yeah many of them what was your happiest view of the island from the stern of my ship falling away on the horizon meaning I'm sailing away from it and it is in the background. That's the best sight. How much? Yeah. You know, it's called, in economics there's a principle, the law of diminishing returns. Okay. You bought some shares, etc. Nada, just. But after that sort of peaks off. It doesn't keep it. So the same thing applies to enjoyment. In fact, you'll recognize it in enjoyment much more. The first jalebi you eat, it's great. Second one also great. Third one, it is good. Fourth one, okay. Fifth, अभी खाना है इसके लिए खा रहा है. Sixth, 10th, you feel like puking. The first was enjoyable. Stop there. Enjoy it and leave it. Adintavantaha. So even during it, Adintavantaha, beginning and end. So your joy also comes to an end. Or I said this story before, some long back. No, I used to have a class at Churchgate. So at the corner there is a cafe there. And there was this kid, street kid, watching all these youngsters going in and out, enjoying all the beautiful drinks there. Huge, tall, cold ones. Chocolate shake, milkshake, strawberry shake, all that thing. And he would look longingly at them. He wouldn't be allowed inside the way he is dressed. So one young girl saw him. He said, "Beta, kuch khayega." So she went inside, paid for a nice drink, got it out and gave it. Wow, this is something. Then he had one sip. Wow, what's that? He had half a dozen sips. It was so enjoyable. Then he looked at the glass, half over. Now there is a dilemma. Why? If he has more sips, He'll get over. If he doesn't have subs, he won't enjoy it. Samsari. This is all of us in the world. Samsari buddhi. We all are like that in the world. We want to have, that's why the expression came, to have your cake and eat it too. Yeah, you can have your cake and eat a little bit of it, then you're fine. So, Adintavanta Kaunteya. Na teshu ramate buddha. The wise don't revel in them. It is not that the wise will not go and enjoy them. Wise will enjoy them. If something is there to enjoyable, enjoy it. What's wrong in it? But they will not revel in them. To revel means to lose yourself in those objects. No. Like you have expressions in Tamil, no? In South Indian languages you have this expression. Shapad Rama, who revels in food. Sapad, in food. Okay. Or in music or anything. You're supposed to be Atma Rama. Atma Rama. Revel in the Atma. Other things are not meant for reveling in. You see, when a cricket match comes on the screen, people deliberately take holidays. Arey, it's on TV, yaar. It's only a game of cricket. Yeah, but it's India, Australia, or India, Pakistan. Okay. That guy, the batsman, missed a ball. Why are you getting upset here? It's a game. But the batsman is also upset. He is upset momentarily. He knows his payment is safe. His match fees are going to come to him anyway, whether he gets out or doesn't get out. You win some, you lose some. That's sports, isn't it? But you should see the people walking. They are Ramana. They are Ramanas in that. To lose yourself in that, the enjoyment is so great, you are losing yourself in that. No. Nateshu ramate buddha. My teacher used to love cricket. He used to watch cricket. But he would never be like that. He will have a comment on something, but that's it. And then he would say, hey, come on, time for that meeting. Switch it off. Let's have that meeting. People will start coming in. Come on. Or, hey, time, let me go for a shower and go for the talk. Fine. There, fine. You're not reveling in that. They're just meant for what it is. Music, he used to enjoy music. He used to compose also. In fact, some of his compositions have become very popular. That Bho Shambho that you hear everywhere, Isha has literally hijacked it. Isha Yoga has hijacked it. It's actually composed by my teacher. Yeah, he used to compose it. But that doesn't mean that he would lose himself in that. Yeah. He used to sing well. That bhava was so much. Yeah. In fact, certain things that I've heard him sing, I don't like to hear others sing, even though they are technically perfect, technically better. But still I don't like it because the bhava that was there, the depth that was there in his singing. So, when those things are there, you don't revel. You are reveling in Ananda that you are. Everything else is helping you manifest the Ananda, that's all. Nothing more than that. Nothing more than that. To have that recognition, have a sense of perspective, have a sense of objectivity with respect to the whole thing. That is what he is saying here. Okay? Because beginning and end, overindulge will end up with health issues. Yeah. Though sometimes we had to overindulge as part of our rule. When I was living on Bhiksha in Rishikesh. Okay? We are living on Bhiksha. Dal roti in the morning, roti dal in the evening. That's it. 2 meals a day. Just 2 meals a day, okay? Nowadays it's all known as intermittent fasting and all. That time it was intermittent fasting is not by choice. Okay, you get only 2 meals, you eat 2 meals. Not important. Why? Your studies are important here. 2 टाइम का खाना मिला बहुत हो गया चलो स्टडी अरे आज भिक्षा नहीं मिला Ekadashi hai, chalo. So you don't find sadhus really keeping too much of this Ekadashi and all that stuff. Why? The day you get food, you eat. You don't get food, you don't eat it. So once in 8 days, once in 10 days, there will be a bhandara. So very often, especially in that Shivalaya place, 6 laddus you eat. 6 laddus, can you imagine? Nice, good ones. Bundi laddu, 6 of them. Samajhi that all the sadhus are eating, 6 to 8, everyone is eating. 6 to 8. Once I got to know the brahmacharis well, I managed to reduce it. First time serve me only 2. मुझे महाराज जी का ऑर्डर है 4 देने के नहीं 2 दे दो. So once I got to know him well, I would reduce it to 2. So 4 laddus. What was that? That is not Ramanam, because you are not seeing enjoyment in that. That was carb loading. Why? For the next 10 days of not getting enough food. Athletes do this. Nowadays all... See, that time it was just simple practical things. Nowadays it becomes athletic thing. You carb load before a marathon so that your body has enough carbohydrates to sustain you before the marathon, etc. It's all called technical names. Okay. So that's all not Ramanam. Ramanam is different. Ramanam is so emotionally enjoying it that you are lost in the whole thing. Ramate Buddha. Then, continuing that idea, he says, Shaknoti he vayyaha sodam praksharira vimokshana kama krododbhavam vegam sayuktaha sasukhi naraha. This is not Rakshanas of a wise person anymore. This is pointing out what is to be done by the students, okay? Yaha, whom? Iheva shaknoti, who is capable, iheva, here itself. Here means what? Prak sharira vimokshanat. Before he has given up the body. That means iheva, while living. Sodum shaknoti, if he can give up, what? What is he going to give up? Kama krodod bhavam vegam. That drive, that passion, that fierceness, that force that comes out of kama and krodha. Kama, your desires, krodha, your anger. To have kama and krodha is one thing. Okay? But to let it drive you is another. You having a drive is beautiful because you have a drive to get things done. That's good. But if you are driven by your kama and krodha, that is a sign of a slave, not a master. You must be the master of the kama and krodha, not the kama and krodha master you. So that's what he's indicating here. You have a desire, fine. Ishwararpanam prasada buddhi, I will work to fulfill it. You have a righteous anger on some issues which deserves an anger. All right. So what you will do? Appropriate action. Channelize that energy, appropriate action, fine. But if you are going to let that kama drive you, krodha drive you, you end up in a mess. Outside, inside, both. No, we are living in a civilized society, I can't do those things. Then you will internalize and create internal problems. Stress. Today, life is so stressful. When was life not stressful, tell me? What is the stress in your life? Tell me, what is the stress? Arey, share market has crashed, yaar. Israel attacked Iran. Share market has come down 800 points. अरे 2 दिन में और ऊपर जाएगा. Balloon है, नीचे आएगा ऊपर जाएगा. It will go up in 2 days, and it went up also after 2 days. What's the big deal? Oh, but very stressful. Yeah. What about the villager who is looking for rains? It rained and he thought maybe tomorrow or in a couple of days when the rain really comes down, I can sow the field, and the rains disappeared. 10 दिन हो गया, rains have disappeared. In Maharashtra, rains have disappeared. He is not under stress. No, that is real issue. Yours is a notional gain and loss. I lost so much on the share market. What loss? If you have sold it, then you have lost. If you are hanging on to it, you are not lost. That's a notional gain and loss. This can be real. Or supposing, thinking of the rain, he sowed the field. Because everyone is saying rain is going to come early this year. And it came also early. He sowed. And now it's all drying up. Pani nahi hai. He has to actually by hand water everything. Try watering 5 acres of land by hand. You'll know what stress is. You'll know what stress is. So, Kama Krodha Vegam. That Vegam means you are driven. The difference being having a passion and the passion having you. If you have a passion about something, you will spend time and effort on it. If the passion is having you, you will get addicted to it. The good, the bad, the ugly, it doesn't matter what. Anything can become an addiction. And you can be driven. In fact, sometimes we used to tease our friends on this. Like I had a junior, one batchmate, good scholar, great teacher. He celebrated his 20th anniversary of his ashram. Okay. Because he started setting up things very early. And he used to pull his legs. That you will not get sleep unless you read at least one page of Sanskrit in the night. Not anything, even something good can become an addiction. I knew for someone for whom japa was an addiction. Japa an addiction? Yeah, he was doing 100 malas a day when he was mentally not prepared for it. So it made his mind dull and stagnant. Yeah, so even good things can be a problem. Okay, 100 malas of japa is great tapas if your mind can handle it. If your mind can't handle it, it will be counterproductive. No, that's how it is. So anything. So that's why he's saying Kama Krodho Bhavam Vegam. Such if you can handle that, if you don't have that, if you have grown out of that, then he says Sayuktaha Sasukhi Naraha. Such a person is a person who's together, yukta, integrated. Sasukhi naraha, that person is a happy person. Yeah. Why? Because I have the desire, but I'm not being driven by the desire. I have the passion, I'm not being driven it. I'm not afraid to get angry, but I'm not driven by my anger. I'm not ruled by my anger. Then that's great. I have love, but I'm not ruled by love. I can express sadness, but not be taken over by grief. You heard the plane crash in Ahmedabad. You saddened or not saddened? Anyone will empathize, no, with the whole thing. Are you going to say, what is birth, what is death? What are you, a grinning gorilla? That's inappropriate. Inappropriate. It's tragic, loss of lives. Yeah. An airplane crash we expect, especially immediately after takeoff, etc. We expect no survivors. But this was even more tragic because it crashed into a building and killed a lot of people there also. So that is even more tragic. And in all that, one character escaped, who was sitting next to the emergency exit. As soon as it crashed, it opened and he jumped out. So got away with minor injuries. His karma was good. His karma to go was not yet there. Yeah. So there are jokes on that also, but it's inappropriate. So I will not say it. Therefore, one who can give up, who can grow out of being ruled by kama, krodha, etc., that person sukhi nara. And how do you do that? Yeah, Vinit, you have a question. You're muted.
Sorry, Swami, I'm saying if somebody did this on purpose, sabotage, let's say,
I beg your
for this plane,
Yeah, that could be. You will know only after the investigations are over. It could be sabotage.
no,
It could be.
then how come is the karma of those whose time has come to go?
How come one guy escaped, the others didn't? So you cannot divide it exactly as karma and not karma. There is prarabdha involved of the people. There is abuse of karma by somebody else. There is a lot of things. It's a matrix. Human life is a matrix. It's not just one thing.
So
a lot of
somebody's
forces.
bad karma,
Yeah.
somebody's intentional bad karma can invoke something on my part,
Correct.
though I'm not, okay.
So I am paying off for some karma.
Okay.
Yeah. I am going to
But
join
the
my husband.
person-
I am going to join my husband and my life
Alright.
is cut short. How do you know it is good karma or bad karma?
Okay, true.
You have a
But
good
somebody
karma
who,
also.
let's say somebody who did it on purpose, let's say it's a terrorist activity,
Yeah.
then they will get results
Yeah,
of
they
their
also
karma.
had to pay for it. In fact, I would stake a bet on this. You check up the horoscopes of all these people who died. They have either some negative effects of a malefic planet in their horoscope. They'll have a major dasha sandhi, or if not major, at least a minor dasha sandhi. Okay, meaning one dasha getting over, another dasha starting, or some ashtama shani, sade sati, something like that will be there in all their horoscopes, or Rahu playing a great negative role there. Okay. So something you'll always find. That doesn't indicate that if you're going through ashtama shani, like I am going through right now, I have to go, or an accident has to happen. But it shows that there is a negativity there. You are paying off for some past karma. Therefore, you may face some issues. Because that astrology is reading of your karma only, nothing else. It's predictive only as far as your karma is concerned. Karma meaning past karma, not your fresh karma. And life is past karma, mine, other people's, my fresh karma, other people's fresh karma. So can you see how many multiple influences come into your life? So a lot of things are there and more. So you can never draw a hard and fast thing. But what I'm trying to say is this: how do you get out of kama krodhodbhavam vegam? That's why samadama, handling your mind, handling your emotions, all that insights I given you earlier, that ABC of thinking, how you change your thinking to change your this. You have something like pratipaksha bhavana also. If you're too much attached to something, you think money is everything, then let your mind take that extreme opposite position. Money is nothing. Money is everything is not a fact. Money is nothing is also not a fact. Money is what money does. But for your mind to come to that balance, since you have gone on one extreme, you take the other extreme. It is called pratipaksha bhavana. I'm a great foodie. Okay. My lunch is at least 2,000, 3,000 calories I am consuming. That's 2,000 calories is meant for a whole day. For a 70 kilo young male person, okay, 2,000 calories is enough for a whole day. But this character consumes that in a meal. Grossly overweight. Because he thinks food is everything. So now what you should thinking the other extreme. Hey, food is the cause of all your problems, etc., etc. In fact, now in today's world, too much of the other side is happening. People are afraid of food. They think food is their enemy. If you look at all the videos and the nutritionists, everyone putting their 2 bits worth of stuff into it. All extreme fads coming in. 1 meal a day plan for losing weight. They are not sustainable. These are not sustainable things. But I have found this yogi doing it. He's a yogi. Let him do it. You're an ordinary person working in society, not meant for you. Yeah. He's sleeping 8 hours a day and meditating 8 hours a day. So 16 hours is practically his expense of calories, only 30 calories an hour. Sleeping and meditation, calorie consumption is same, about 30 calories an hour. So how much does he need in terms of food? And how much do you need? You're working. Sedentary, even if you're sedentary, you require about 1800 to 2000 calories if you're a man. Little lesser, about 200 lesser if you're a woman. And if you're doing physical hard work, then you'll require more. If you're gymming, you'll require more. So 1 meal a day is not sustainable for those people. You have to look at lifestyles, etc. But because I'm a foodie, I'm taking the other extreme. Nothing makes me happy as food, yaar. Come on. See, now, when I say foodie again, I have to be careful. Anyone here who does not enjoy good food? No. That need not make us a foodie. If you are enjoying good food, that's good. Enjoy good food. Who doesn't enjoy? Everyone enjoys good food. Now, what is good food will change according to your tastes. That's fine. So, what is good food for you and what is good food for me may be different thing. Okay, that's a different thing. So, enjoying good food is one thing. Who is a foodie? At breakfast, he's thinking, okay, I'm enjoying this breakfast. What is going to be for lunch? Mom, what are you making for lunch? Your breakfast you're eating, you think of lunch. And in between breakfast and lunch, you want a snack. Then at lunchtime, you're thinking of what is going to be made at tea time. What do you mean tea time? You had a good lunch here, you don't need anything at tea. You have breakfast and you had lunch, you don't need anything at tea. Cup of tea is good enough. And at tea time, when you're having the snack, you're thinking of dinner. And dessert after all the meals. That makes you a foodie, okay? That makes you a foodie. You may not be a big eater, but if you're thinking like this, if you've got food on the mind, you're a foodie. Okay. So, similarly, any passion, this thing. Samadama, Sama here, Dhamma at the physical level, enough. Yeah. You enjoy the ice cream, na? Yes. One scoop, a second scoop, enough, both ho gaya. That's it. Walk away. Enjoy jalebis. हाँ, पाव किलो खा सकते हैं. एक दो खा के बस कर लो. अच्छा है. Have that Dhamma, that is physical discipline. And of course with other bigger desires, etc. Ishvara Arpanam, Prasad Buddhi, etc. Then you will grow out of it. उसका बाद क्या है? After that you are fine. You have mastered your mind. Yeah. You can enjoy. It's like the story of the Zen master. A couple brought their young son. He's a little bit plump and he says, "Sir, my boy eats too much of sweets. Please give him some good advice." Okay. Please come after 2 weeks. He goes, they come after 2 weeks. And 2 weeks is better. Too much of sweets is bad for you and all. He explained things to him. He said, "Swamiji, why did you call after 2 weeks? You could have told them this 2 weeks back. In that 2 weeks, he has put on a kilo already." He says, "I had no right to tell him at that time." Why? Because that time even I was eating too much of sweets. So you have a right to say it only if you have mastered it yourself. Okay? Yeah. That's the meaning of the word Acharya. Swayam Acharan Paran Acharayati. Following it himself, he helps others follow it. Seeing it himself, he helps others see it. Okay, so if you are not disciplined, you have no right to ask others to be disciplined. It is like the mother on the phone telling the child, "Too much of phone time is bad for you. Why are you spending all the time on the phone?" You shouldn't be spending so much of time on the phone. Think that advice has any meaning? So similarly, it comes with the teacher also. Swayam acharan paran achareti. Therefore, sayukta sasukhi naraha. One who has managed to master these emotions, etc., that person can understand what Ananda is about. Okay, then he goes for. Okay, you are not an Atma Rama. Then what Rama should? I mean, you are not a Bhoga Rama. Then what Rama should you be here? You Antasukha Antar Ramaha Antastas Jyotirevacha Sayogi Brahma Nirvanam Brahma Bhuta Gachati. You Antasukha, who has recognized Ananda within himself. Antar Ramaha. Antar Rama. He is Atma Rama. Where is he rebels? He rebels in Ananda. What else are you going to revel in? And Ananda is your nature. For a foodie, Ananda comes from the food. Though it is his own nature, he is still projected around the food. It's a question of displacement. Because you are ignorant, you are projected out there. Yeah. Here, you are not projected out, you know what you are. So, Antarrama. Okay. Antarrama. Antarjyotirevacha. You are awake to all that is there within you. Meaning to Ananda that you are the consciousness here, your mind is awake to that. You know that. Okay. Antarjyotirevacha. Sayogihi. Such a yogi, he says. Brahma Nirvanam. The Nirvanam, moksha that is known by the word Brahman, that is non-different from Brahman. Brahma Nirvanam. Brahma Bhutaha Adhigacchati. He gains it. Why? He is Brahma Bhutam. He is Brahman. He is Brahman. In fact, all of us are Brahman. What is the difference between the ignorant and the wise? Pending recognition, that's all. Wise person has recognized and owned it up in your life. The others have not. That's all. Itna hi farak hai. There is no difference. And there is all the difference in the world. There is no difference and there is all the difference also. Yeah. Therefore, the whole thing goes there. Okay. Brahma Bhutaha Adhigacchati. In fact, Adhigacchati, etc., is a term used because right now we feel we don't have it. So we have to say we have gained it. Praptasya praptihi, gaining what you already had. You thought you had lost your keys and you are hunting all over for it. And then you suddenly recognize, Arey yaar, it's in my pocket only. I got it. You got it? When did you lose it? It is in your pocket all the time. So when did you lose your keys? Notional, I thought I had lost it. You thought you had lost it? You gained it. So Adhigacchati. That Adhigacchati, etc. is from there. Because you thought you lost it. Therefore, Brahma Nirvanam, Brahma Bhutaha, the Nirvana Moksha known as Brahman. Brahma Bhutaha, being Brahman, he gains it. So a little bit about that is being elaborated. Labante Brahma Nirvanam, Rishayaha Kshina Kalmashaha, Chinna Dvaida Yatatmanaha, Sarva Bhuta Hite Rataha. Labante Brahma Nirvanam. This Brahma Nirvanam, Nirvanam, Moksha known as Brahman. Why is he saying Brahma Nirvanam, Brahma Nirvanam? Because there are many concepts of mokshas. Everything is not moksha. But there are many ideas. What is moksha? Freedom from your sense of limitations. That means discovery of the yourself as limitless. But many darshanas, systems of philosophy, etc., presents many schools and ideas of moksha. So, to counteract that, he is saying Brahma Nirvana. It's not new, it's always there. It's always there. Some idea of moksha or the other will be there. Therefore, labante brahma nirvana. Who? Rishayaha. Rishanti jnananti iti. Okay. One who knows, who pursues this knowledge. Okay. How? Who are they? Kshina kalmashaha. All that ragadvesha, negativities, all those things. Kshina. Hurt, pain, guilt, anger, etc. Taken care of. Kalmashaha. Gone. Gone from the mind. Past hurts. You're carrying your past hurt. From childhood, something happened. Or the first time you got ditched in love. First love rarely work out anyway. It's meant to be ditched only. Okay. I mean, I can count on my fingers the people whom I know whose first loves have worked out. And if it has worked out, there are always some hiccups on the way. Lots of hiccups. Okay. So, all this you are carrying inside. If you have dealt with it, no issues. You think, so old, it doesn't matter. No, you are carrying it. Therefore, the ananda that I talk about, that will come filtered through that pain, that subconscious will hijack. So, it will come filtered with that pain. Erroneous thinking that you have, all the distortions that you are carrying. Yeah. Most of the emotions come because of the distortions anyway, isn't it? Yeah. So the distortions only, all your emotional issues come up. And distortions come because nobody taught us thinking. We picked up as a process of socialization. So we thought wrong and we thought it is the right way to think, and it became a pattern. Why do so many people want to control others? Because they feel their life is out of control. Unless I control everybody else, my life will not be happy. Forgetting you can't control. Your children will not listen to you. Forget. If you have a 3-year-old kid, is enough to know that. So you get angry, you get frustrated, you whack the kid and all that. No. If you have a teenager, don't even talk. And a time will come and your body will not listen to you. Come on, you're supposed to finish that mile in 4 minutes, run. I'm running faster. It's not going faster, body is not going faster. Kya karega? But you used to do that 10 years back, yeah. Abhi nahi hota hai. You can run, no? Good enough. Everything is not under your control. So control fallacies are like that. It's a fallacy of thinking. Either you are with me or you are against me. Many idiotic leaders say that. It's an attempt at control, manipulating. To be right all the time. All these issues, we have dealt with it in the second chapter. Erroneous thinking. Kshina kalmasha, you have to negate all that thing. Those are the things that are twisting this knowledge up, not making it your own. So, kshina kalmasha, take it out from your system. Okay? Kshina kalmasha. Okay. Chinna dvaida. Okay. Chinna dvaida. All doubts have been cut off. Doubts can come from your own experience, from your own thinking, from somebody else's thinking. Isn't it? From your own thinking. Because you experience, okay, how can I be like that? Or from somebody else, you read in some book, some propaganda, something you read. Let me point out a cultural propaganda right now. How many of us, especially South Indians here, will keep Krishna playing the flute at home? Especially in Tamil Nadu, how many people will keep that? There is a belief system that if you are putting the Krishna, the flute, okay, you will blow away prosperity from your home. I heard this when I was a kid. I said, how can that be? Krishna played the flute all the time. He made everyone happy by playing the flute. So how can it take away your happiness and your prosperity? As a kid, I thought that. As a group, when I grew up, I realized, hey, that is symbolic of the voice of the Veda. What are you talking about? But this was evangelist propaganda in South, by which the core of what Krishna is was discarded. Where did he pick it up? He just picked it up. And he started believing in it. So like this, it can come from somewhere else, a doubt can come, a Purva-paksha can come, a propaganda can come. All those things, Chinnadvaida, with your logic based on the Shastra, logic based on what you have learned, you have removed all this doubt. If you can't do yourself, seek a batchmate's help. If that also doesn't work, seek the teacher's help. That's why, if you notice, every class I start with asking any questions or clarifications. Because Chinnadvaida is important. Chinnadvaida. Sarva Bhuta Hite Rataha. He's got a lot of time in the world now because he is free. So, for once you know the truth, what? Sarva Bhuta Hite Rataha. Okay, Sarva Bhuta Hite Rataha. What are you doing? Whatever is good for the people around you. If you find a need, you will respond to it. That's it. Because your time, energy, etc. क्या करने का? Do something good for yourself and others. What else is there in your life? If you are a fulfilled person, tell me what you need in life. Nothing. So what are you doing? But Samji, you are very busy, no? I'm busy because I'm interacting with people. Or kya? People, Swamis are busy, teachers are busy. Why? They are doing things. Sarva Bhuta Hite Rata. That's it. Yeah. They are not teaching for a Gurudam. Kings are after kingdom. If you wanted a Gurudam, then you must start something special, separate, not teach the Shastra. Teach something separate. Give it a branding, give it a name and create a branding, create a lot of social media images. Then you will gain Gurudam. That's not the idea. You don't want Gurudam. You are teaching because, hey, there are seekers out there. Sometimes they don't even know they are seekers, but they are seekers. Yeah, it is there. They are running around like a headless chicken, means they are seekers. They are searching for something. So awareness building comes there, and then proper teaching comes here in the class. Why Sarva Bhuta Hite Rataha? Because everyone has to gain moksha eventually. Anyway, that's what makes the thing. I mean, what's life purpose anyway? At the end of the day, what are you here for? To learn the lessons of life and grow? And how far is growth? Until you know the truth. Until you have what? You discover you are limitless. There is no more need for growth. No more need for growth. Your limitlessness itself. So that is the whole thing. Yeah. Sure.
Swamiji, not to put anyone down, but there's someone who keeps saying pranayama with soham. So that has to be understood, right? It's not a something to be.
See, soham is a mahavakya, which has to be understood. Now, what some people do, okay, is using that soham to regulate your breath. Many Reiki people do this. Okay, people into Reiki and all. It is. You can do ho-hum also, instead of so-hum. That also will work. Or ko-hum also will work. I mean, what I am saying is any sound will work. They are now trying to make it profound by using a Mahavakya without understanding the Mahavakya. It's okay. It is like using a samurai sword. You got gifted a great samurai sword. That can cut through. You use properly, with energy can cut through steel. That's what the sword is. And what are you using it? To cut vegetables in the kitchen. Your sword, Baba. You have to use it to cut onions in the kitchen. Le kya karo? Or ladies with do you need a samurai sword to cut okra? But yeah, if you're foolish enough, you can do that. There's nothing great about it, nothing wrong about it, like out and out wrong. But it is not respecting the samurai sword for what it is. Similarly, you are not respecting the Mahavakya for what it is, not even understanding it, using it only for a breathing practice. Okay. It works, it helps. The breathing practice, Soham, helps. Yeah, I'm not denying that. But as I said, Hoham also will work instead of Soham. What you need? It's a short thing for inhalation and a long for exhalation. So if you're stimulating that, that's what they're doing it. It'll bring down your BP and things like that. Okay? Yeah, full short inhalation and a long exhalation will break down your BP. So they're using it for that. But not what it's meant for. Yeah, when you can use it, of course you can use it. What's to prevent you from using it? Yeah. So that's how it happens. So a lot of things like this are there. Like someone teaches Kapalabhati with hand movements. Never do that. Especially if you have BP, etc., don't do it. That hand movement will take your BP through the roof. So, certain things, you have to know what is to be done and what's not to be done. The whole discipline is a big, huge one. But what happened today is, because of the internet, social media, etc., people who get a small smattering of knowledge become expert, present. Like in some of my groups, I put that WhatsApp message that the government of India is directly hiring 2-star generals after hearing about their expertise in analysis of Operation Sindoor. Yeah, everyone becomes an expert. Now this Ahmedabad air crash, everybody is an expert. The black box has to be analyzed, the debris has to be analyzed before you can find out the cause. Lot of stimulation exercises has to be done before you find out the true cause. But everyone gives their 2-bit opinion. Everyone becomes an expert overnight. So similarly in spirituality also, everyone becomes an expert overnight. Instead of spending years of study and tapas, you become an expert overnight. What to do? Yeah. Kali ki prabhav hai. Not to get worked up on this. Okay? Kali ki prabhav hai. It's a prabhav of Kali Yuga. So it's okay. These things will happen. You have to learn to discern and pick and choose what really works. And what really works would be what makes you Brahma Nirvanam. Rikshaya Kshena Kalmashaha. Chinna Dvaida. Duality is negated. Doubts are negated. Yatatmanaha. Putting the adequate efforts to know the truth. That's important. Yatatmanaha. Sarva Bhuti Hite Rataha. Or kya? Okay. So what? 2-3 verses are left. It goes into a different this thing altogether. But we will see that next time. Good place to stop. Okay. Think it over. Any questions? Come next time with that. Okay. Oh, that's all.